Go with that part.
No, he's 1,000% deserving. He should be a first ballot the same way that all these other guys are. Absolutely. He would actually have more of a case, in my opinion, than Ben Roethlisberger and possibly even Richard Sherman. Antonio Brown is not even remotely close. I mean, he's one of the most talented, if not the best receiver of an entire era of football. He's in that conversation. I think he's 1,000% deserving. The sad part is, I don't think I'm ever going to see him get in the Hall of Fame. I don't think he's going to ever see himself get in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Just because it's...
Who's better than him, though? Let's keep it 1,000, though. Like, who's really better than Antonio Brown as wide receiver? Let's just keep it real.
I would go different than you. I'll go Jerry Rice. I'll go Calvin Johnson. I'll go Terrell Owens. I'll go Randy Moss. I'll go Larry Fitzgerald. Then I got to breathe. Then I got to think.
Bro, he named 5 all-time greats, and now he's like, I got to breathe.
Now I got to think.
And he ain't played nowhere near long as them guys.
Yeah, nope.
Man, what? Now, and he's way littler than them dudes.
Yeah.
And
if without the Vontaze Burfict hit, who knows what he could have done?
Bro,
who knows?
Even with it?
Who knows?
Yeah, even with the hit.
Even with it, he went crazy. But yeah, it's just... I don't know. I unfortunately, I don't think he's ever getting in.
I was just going to ask y'all how much of so for Acho, your initial point of like, Earl Thomas didn't get in, so you can't put Sherman, but sometimes your class matters. So looking at Earl Thomas inductee class, you have guys like Antonio Gates.
Yeah.
You have guys like Sterling Sharp.
Yeah.
Jared Allen. That was the 2025 class. 2026, you got Breeze, Fitz, Luke.
You also bring the hair.
Like that's a class. Like, so I don't know if you can really knock Sherm for, you know what I mean? You can't not put Sherman first ballot because that logic just seems to fall flat.
You still have Earl who hasn't gotten in. So given that Earl's had to wait 2 years, shouldn't you put him in before you put Sherman?
Before you put Sherman.
It's a different position, though.
But you know this. But the Hall of Fame isn't positional. The Hall of Fame is positional.
But it is though, because at the end of the day, they have to look at. Okay, you compared to the other eligible wide receivers. Who do we believe should get in?
But I'm saying
who meets that criteria?
It's not just your class. Like
Sure.
you pull from dudes from classes. Craig, who's running? Roger Craig. Roger Craig got into this class.
Yes.
He retired in like the early 90s, maybe late 80s.
Yeah, way before.
Yeah.
Exactly right. And so my thought process is like, Sherm isn't just competing against this class. He's competing against every eligible person of all time.
Another element that is going to play a factor, and I think the NFL or the Pro Football Hall of Fame has shown this after leaving out Bill Belichick. Fucking ridiculous. And Bill Belichick's going to be in next year's class too. The problem is Earl Thomas also has off the field that they're going to care about.
But the problem then is, and shout out to Sherm for getting on TV, but Sherm does too.
Yeah.
No, the Sherm's public is worse than Earl's. Sherm's was recorded.
I think TV helps you out, though.
Bingo.
TV does help you
Sherm
out.
has diluted that situation so much, whereas Earl, the whole situation,
Then the last thing I want to ask you real quick, Shady, because you mentioned Roethlisberger, so I think it's kind of the same thing. Like with classes, you can't talk about who you're going up against. So for Roethlisberger,
he shouldn't get in.
If he plays in a different era, he probably gets an All-Pro.
But I ain't gonna lie though, for me, I can't put you in Hall of Fame with the best players of all time. You never had All-Pro.
Yeah.
I ain't wasting time with that.
Do you think Eli Manning's a Hall of Famer?
Well, hold on, I got one. Who?
Do you think Eli Manning's a Hall of Famer?
Come on, man.
Hey,
real quick.
I like it.
You laughed at me, though. Why Jerry Rice better than AB, though?
I'll use your argument against you. You always say, Acho, what you do has to matter. You always say that. Like, you play the game. I don't want this hypothetical stuff. What's talent? What you do has to matter. Jerry Rice is so much better than even the next best receiver. I think Fitzgerald has 15,000 receiving yards. Jerry Rice has 20,000 in a passing era. In a running era first, excuse me. So because you've told me like what you do has to matter.
I watched Jerry Rice. I think Jerry Rice is phenomenal. 1, 2, 3,
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 first team All-Pros.
I think if Jerry Rice played on the same team of AB would be the number one receiver.
He got a second
That's
team
my opinion.
All-Pro.
Now, my opinion is I think if Jerry Rice, we got to get number one receiver.
Kieran, why you shot?
What
happened?
Jerry Rice got a second team All-Pro in 2002 at 40
with the
in
Raiders.
Oakland. With the Raiders.
I ain't really. I mean, listen, man.
Who's the QB?
Because like we gonna look at these stats, right?
Not bad.
And nobody's gonna remember the games he played at that time. But I do. I watch how Bobby Wagner. And I love Bobby. They be giving Bobby All-Pros. He don't deserve them right now. And you know that.
Sure. But what you can't do is this. You can't say.
I'm not going to knock it, though.
I'm saying you can't say, Ben, I need an All-Pro in one voice. But then in your second voice, be like, yeah, but they be giving away All-Pros.
I mean, Ben don't have none. He don't have one. He don't even have one. Like
I looked this up. He had 3 seasons where he was close.
Who?
Ben Roethlisberger. So
What is
2007.
close?
Well, he was like second in voting behind these people.
Come on,
It
bro.
was 2014. He was behind MVP Aaron Rodgers and Tony Romo. I think that had like a crazy ass season. It was when we went 13-3, the Death caught a year.
Right.
In 2017, it was, 2017.
Be
it was
better, bro.
Aaron Rodgers' MVP
better.
year. And it was Drew Brees breaking the completion percentage record. And then in 2007, it was Tom Brady's 17-0 year. And then I think someone
Be
else.
better,
I forgot who it
man.
was.
I beat Ed Fishing out once or twice before. Like, do be better.
Find a way to do
That's
it.
true.
I got this AB topic though.
Yep.
Because people laugh about it, but like, yo, like, I'm staying on that. I watched it,
You lived it, so you're biased.
bro. Nah, I'm not. I like
Shady.
Jerry. I
Shady,
respect Jerry. I don't think he's better than AB. I don't. What's he do
Shady
better
is-
than him though? They both catch the ball very, very well. Maybe AB catches body catches more. He catches the rock. He don't drop the ball.
I would say,
Is it routes?
I
What
would
we
say
talking about?
Jerry probably does run better routes, and Jerry just had a knack for getting open. AB's incredible though. I mean, but it would be almost like to me, Shady.
I think AB's after the catch is better.
It's almost like comparing like a KD to a Jordan. Like they're both top 10, and you could argue KD's a better whatever.
I don't look at Jerry like a Jordan. I don't.
Shady, he's
My man, my man.
It's a 1-to-1.
Bro, look, man. It's like y'all get mad because
10 first team all pros.
I don't look at Jerry Rice like I look at Jordan as the best basketball to ever touch a basketball. I don't look at Jerry as the best footballer to ever touch the football.
Best receiver though. It's not close.
I'm
Like,
just telling, but you asked me a question, right? You said Michael Jeffrey Jordan, right?
Yeah, Jeffrey.
When I bring his name up, when most people bring it, they say he's the GOAT of GOATs. Like, you play lineman, you play
it don't matter.
point guard, you play center, the best. You know what I'm saying? Jerry is a great player, he's one of the best of all time. Yes, wide receivers for sure. For me though, I'm taking AB. I'm sorry. I keep asking you simple questions you don't want to answer. I ask you, what does Jerry Rice do better than
I would say routes. I would say hands. I would say
How do you say hands? You don't see AB drop shit.
Jerry don't drop nothing
And
either.
have you seen AB drop shit?
Well, Jerry did it longer and didn't drop nothing.
That's better. Say that. So what? Because longer matters though. I did
course.
some running backs Hall of Fame. I look at some of my numbers. I'm like, damn.
Shady, 10 first team all pros. Grand opening, grand close.
Steelers Nation, let me ask you something. When people talk about Antonio Brown, they always remember the chaos. But why do they suddenly forget the dominance? And that matters today because the same lesson applies to every rare talent the Steelers ever consider. When a player is truly different, when he changes the way opponents prepare, when he forces the entire league to react, you do not just shrug and say, too complicated. You study it, you measure the risk, you check the price. And that is exactly why this Vita Vea conversation is so interesting for Pittsburgh. Now let's connect the dots. In that Hall of Fame debate, they were talking about Antonio Brown like this. Yeah, the off-field story is messy, yeah, the ending was ugly, but on the field, come on, man. For a stretch, AB was not just great, he was terrifying. He was the receiver defensive coordinators circled first. He was the guy who made you change coverage, change leverage, change the entire plan. And that is the bigger point. Rare players force rare decisions. That is where Vita Vea enters the conversation. No, Vea is not a Pittsburgh Steeler. This is not official. This is not confirmed. Tampa Bay has publicly pushed back on the idea of trading him. But when a 347-pound interior monster has contract drama around him, when his name even touches the market conversation, Omar Khan should at least know what is going on. Not because Pittsburgh is desperate, not because you overpay just to win the headline, but because the Steelers are supposed to be a franchise that understands the value of rare physical traits. Think about it. Vita Vea in the middle of a Steelers front? My goodness, that is not a normal defensive tackle. That is a wall with movement skills. That is the kind of player who can eat double teams, collapse the pocket, ruin inside zone, and make quarterbacks uncomfortable before TJ Watt even gets around the edge. And if you give TJ Watt a quarterback who cannot step up cleanly, that is not pressure anymore. That is a problem. That is a nightmare. That is the kind of football that makes AFC quarterbacks start checking the protection twice before the snap. And then you add Cameron Hayward to the equation. You add Patrick Graham's defensive mind. You add a system that wants to disguise, rotate, pressure, and confuse. Now you are not just talking about talent, you are talking about identity. Pittsburgh football has always been at its best when the trenches set the tone. Not cute football, not soft football, not hope the quarterback bails us out football. Steelers football is supposed to feel heavy. It is supposed to feel like every yard costs something. But here's where we have to be honest. Vea is 31. He plays a violent position. He is not a cheap, risk-free move. You cannot just throw premium picks and massive guaranteed money at a veteran nose tackle without thinking about tomorrow. Omar Khan has to be cold-blooded here. If the price is too high, walk away. If the contract demands are wild, walk away. If Tampa Bay is not actually listening, move on. That is smart business. But monitoring? Absolutely. Calling? Absolutely. Asking the question? 100%. Because championship teams do not build rosters by waiting for perfect situations. They stay ready. They watch contract pressure. They watch unhappy stars. They watch teams with cap problems. They watch everything. And when the right player meets the right price, they strike. That is the same lesson from the Antonio Brown debate. You can argue about legacy, you can argue about Hall of Fame timing, you can argue about how things ended, but nobody can honestly say AB was ordinary, and nobody can honestly say Vita Vea is ordinary either. Different positions, different stories, different circumstances, but the same truth. Rare talent changes football. So my take is simple. The Steelers should not chase chaos. They should not mortgage the future, but they should absolutely keep Vita Vea on the radar, because if that door ever opens even a crack, a front with Vea, Hayward, Watt, Highsmith, and Graham calling the defense could be one of the scariest units in the AFC. Steelers Nation, tell me the truth. Would you take the risk on Vita Vea if the price was reasonable, or is the age and contract situation too dangerous? Drop your opinion in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe for more Steelers news, rumors, and real black and gold reaction. Here we go.